They're a professional team, man. No matter what the schedule is, they're not coming here and lay down. So we got to go out there and continue to take it each and every week and truly be week to week if we want to be the team that we think we are.
Got to be week to week and taking care of business, and so far the Jaguars have been doing that. 9-4. All they're missing is the 9 to make it 9-4, right, Kyle?
That's exactly right. I don't know. We couldn't have predicted the season to go the way it's gone. There's been some ups, there's been some downs, but right now they are in prime position to do something, I don't know, maybe kind of special. But they got to get through this week first. They got to get through.
We got to get through each week. You still got a ways to go. They've won 9 games. Welcome to Teal, the show, by the way. But the Jaguars have won 9 games, and they could win their 10th game of the season on Sunday. It would be the first 10-win season for the Jaguars since 2017. So definitely something special. Liam Cohen's first year on the job. I think before the season started, Kyle, I had him close to 10 wins. I don't remember if I went over the edge. I think I had him at 10, teeter-tottering. But I mean, they're taking care of business at a clip that I definitely didn't foresee.
Yes, no, I think maybe me and you were around 10. Justin might have been a little lower.
No, Justin was definitely lower. I know how he rolls.
But yeah, they have definitely exceeded expectations for sure. And we've talked to players in the locker room being not able to look to next week. Yep. I'm having trouble. Me and you together, we look each week. What's after this? But you got to stay centered, stay focused. You got one game ahead of you.
Look, next week's a big one against the Denver Broncos. That game is, absolutely monumental. It could come down to where that's the tiebreaker between the Jaguars and the Houston Texans when it's all said and done. Could. Jaguars control their own destiny, which means you got to take care of business each week, and there is no need for a tiebreaker, which does include this week against the New York Jets. So big game nonetheless. The Jets have been struggling. They also have a first-year head coach, Aaron Glenn, a guy who I thought probably would be able to steady the ship there in New York, but he's had some early struggles, and he doesn't have a quarterback, so that's part of the problem.
Speaking of doesn't have a quarterback, we'll say I think the Jaguars might finally be finding their quarterback. Trevor Lawrence, he's been playing a ton of great football these last 4 games. We did talk to head coach Liam Cohen about if the offense was clicking, and he said nothing has changed, that Trevor just finally getting a little more comfortable.
I think just, definitely has a great understanding throughout the week of the plan. He's worked very hard at going through, I think, some of the reads versus maybe different looks or what we are expecting versus maybe what could occur, and going through that with Spence and Grant a lot, and he's been throwing it well. Like, he threw it really well in practice. I know practice doesn't always carry over for whatever reasons. You try not to over-analyze it that much, but like when we were soaking the ball up pretty good on Thursday, he was spinning it really good, and he has been. He's been throwing it good, I think, especially the last 4 weeks, as you mentioned. It's not anything necessarily that's changed, like, about anything that we've done with him, or he's, I think he's just starting to feel more and more comfortable within the system and within the guys that he's playing with.
Look, time on task matters. Look, we kept saying patience. It was going to take time. This offense was real different. And I know this is a what have you done for me lately kind of business. Everybody wants the flip the light switch, and it's just that simple. And all of a sudden the light's on for Trevor and everybody on the new offense. But it takes time. You got to build a little muscle memory, right? And so now we're looking at this point in the season, and it looks like things are starting to click for Trevor. That also means probably partially because it's starting to click for his wide receivers, to where something changes at the line of scrimmage and people immediately know what they're supposed to do, instead of, okay, Trevor gets to the line, changes the call, and then you don't have much time on the play clock, and people are like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Oh, I'm supposed to be doing whatever I'm supposed to be doing right now. So it's different. It took a little time. It took some time where Liam and his other stops, for the guys to pick up the offense. But now they've laid a little groundwork, they weathered the storm, and now it could be just uphill from here.
And we've talked about it all year. We haven't seen a complete game. These last couple have been the most complete games we've seen all season, and the quarterback positions definitely played a big role in that. But I also still will say they like to use the term left a little meat on the bone. Even in those games where they've blown people out and played well, they still haven't hit every X that they've needed to mark. And so there's still more that can be of this offense. So.
Oh, yeah, look, there's still things. Think about this. All right, you ready for this? The wide receiver room. You traded for Jacoby Myers. You already had Brian Thomas Jr. and Parker Washington's really come on, and so has Tim Patrick, right? Okay, so those are your 4 top wide receivers. How many games have you had all 4 of them available?
You didn't have them all last week.
Okay, and then before that, Brian was sidelined, right?
You are
okay.
correct. So
you haven't had all 4 of them available very much together. So now, all of a sudden, having just 3 of them looked pretty good. Imagine when now Liam has another toy that he can put out there in situational positions when he feels like, oh, I like this matchup for Parker, or I like this one for Tim, or here we go, Brian, go on ahead and line up out. Now, all of a sudden, he can play with formations and groupings a little bit more because he's getting guys back as opposed to calling up like Austin Trammell, who's from the practice squad, who's done a good job in replacement, but he's not one of those guys.
No, he's not. But also, don't forget about Brenton Strange because we missed him for a little bit. He's been coming back, and he's kind of that safety blanket, so he's played a role in there as well.
Yeah, look, Brenton Strange's been huge for this offense. So, look, I think there was a level of everybody had to click and mesh together, right? Everybody needed a little bit of patience. The running game on the offense kind of took off early. There were some struggles in the middle, and now all the pieces have come back together. Jaguars are scarily getting healthy at the right time. If you got some wood, knock on it. But everybody's kind of coming back. All the pieces are there. I know there was a little bit of a scare early in the week because Trevor popped up limited on the practice report, but there was nothing there. He's fine. So all the pieces are kind of lining up for this offense to get healthy. The defense is pretty much getting healthy. I don't know. This could be a team that could make some noise.
Yeah, everything, like you said, is falling into place kind of right at the time you want it to. But, again, you got to get through this week, and I know we'll get to our predictions on the other side. There is some other things I want to talk because this game does kind of scare me. But we'll get to that when Teal, the show, continues right after this quick break.
I just told the boy this championship week 1, like this game, we need all 4 of them going forward. So this is the first one on the list, and we got to handle what we're supposed to handle.
You heard him, championship week 1, because each one of these games is important. The Houston Texans are like nipping at the Jaguars' heels, just 1 game back. And I don't even really want to get into tiebreaker scenarios if you don't have to. You just got to start doing math and gymnastics and all kinds of stuff. Just win the games and take care of business, and let's move on.
Hey, like you said, championship week, and I will say I do like this mindset because I was telling you earlier, this game makes me a little nervous just because you got one team that has a better record than the other, and most of the time, or so far this season, the Jaguars have, made those games a little dicey. So hopefully we see that they've turned the corner, but this still could be not an easy game. So I just want to ask you, is there anything that scares you about the Jets or this game in particular?
No. The Jets aren't good. The Jets aren't good. And I'll ask you this, Kyle, because you said in games like this one, the Jaguars have made them a little dicey. What game are you talking about?
Arizona.
Okay.
Oakland, or not Oakland, Las Vegas.
Vegas was a little scary. Arizona was definitely scary. But the Cardinals are a solid team that at the time didn't make moves at the trade deadline because they were still playing for their playoff lives. So, okay, I'll give you those 2. But this Jets team, I mean, they're just not. They're not great. I mean, the Jaguars went out there and took care of business against the Titans, who are also not a great roster right now. So I think they're going to struggle. I mean, we asked Liam Cohen about the Jets, and the first thing out of his mouth was, they got some good special teams. And that's him not giving any bulletin board material, but I'll tell you what that is. I got to say something nice about him. If you can't say something nice, don't say nothing at all. I'm trying to find something like, you got some nice hair. You got to find something to pick out, and that's what he was looking for. I just don't think this team is good, and if there was a scary thing, Kyle, to answer your question, it's that maybe the Jaguars look ahead to the Denver Broncos right around the corner and look past this Jets team because they know they're better than them.
And that's a fair assumption. They do have a big game coming up, but like we've heard all week, they're going 1 game at a time, trying to be 1-0. So
yep.
I think that's shown throughout the season so far in these moments where they've had to win a game or they've had high-pressure games. They've been prepared, and they've come out and, done better than expected. So I'll go ahead and just give my prediction right here. I expect nothing different. I'm going to go with the Jaguars. We've been kind of on a roll so far, so fingers crossed we keep that. But I think, like you said, they do what they've been doing. I think Trevor continues to play well, but they might not need him to do that much. I think you rely on the run game. Sure. The defense will do what it needs to do, and then you come out of there injury-free with a nice win, and then you're focused on Denver. So give me the Jaguars. I will say we've been scoring pretty high, and I've been going a little lower, so I'll give them 31-13.
Ooh, okay.
Now, it does make me nervous because it is a little bit of a block, but I do feel, like you said, the Jets are a bad team. The Jaguars are a good team right now, so they can go out and prove it on Sunday.
Look, I'm with you. I don't think you know I'm not picking the Jets here. It's like last week I said I can't pick a quarterback that has one good leg. Like, I just can't do it. I'm not picking a team that doesn't have a quarterback. If you got three, you don't have one. The Jets don't have one. I'm going Jags. Like you said, they've been averaging over 30. I'm right there with you. I got 34. Let's go 34-17. I'll give them a couple more points. But I think this is going to be a handy show for the Jaguars as the last home game before the holiday season, kind of wrap things up at the bank until that last game of the year and maybe going into the playoffs. I don't think that this is going to be a close game because the Jets just aren't very good. They are firmly in a rebuild. The Jaguars were just in a little bit of a retool, maybe a refuel. But look, they gassed up and you're off and running.
That is true. And hey, this is a perfect game to come out to because we'll also be out there, so come out and join us as well.
Yeah, if you're heading out to the bank, come hang out with us. We'll be live over at the Slab for another Teal Gate. Rain kind of got us last week, but we'll be out there this week. Weather looks great for this one, so come hang out with us Sunday. We will be live from 11 to noon, so you can hang out with us right here on Channel 4. If you're out there, come by and say hello. Look, doesn't get too much better than a Tealgate home game at the bank. Not too many of these dates left. Playoff tickets are officially on sale for the Jaguars, by the way. NFL rule, Jaguars didn't decide to do it. They're division leader after a certain date. NFL makes you put them on sale. So not jinxing anything.
Playoffs?
Yeah, it's not just them. Other teams around the league are doing it too, because I know somebody at home is asking, well, why did they do that? It's okay. But they are on sale if anybody's trying to make sure that they're in a postseason Jaguars game. All right, hey, thanks for spending some of your Friday night with us here on Teal the Show. Good night, everybody, and go Jags.